Today on The Grid, our guest is Photoshop guru Mark Heaps, and our topic is Adobe moving forward or going backwards with Photoshop? We've got some fun giveaways for you folks watching live. Mr. Erik Kuna is here with me, and it all starts in just 60 seconds. The Grid is brought to you by Tamron. Check out their 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 lens. It's for Sony full-frame mirrorless. It's awesome. Go to tamron-usa.com. And Westcott. Check out their new Rapid Box switch. It has 9 light modifiers and 13 quick swap light inserts. Check it out right now at fjwestcott.com. And ProPhoto, the light shaping company. Check out the ProPhoto B1X. Power in all the right places. Go to prophoto.com/US. And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com. Hey everybody, welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby. I am joined by two fantastic guys. To my left, our very special guest today, Photoshop guru, cool guy, very good bass player, by the way. Excellent. I jammed with him, dude. He jammed with us at the Photoshop World Party. The dude can jam. Really good bass player, and he looks really cool with the bass, which is a bonus. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, and you have to clap at home and stuff, Mark Heaps.
Thank you. Glad to be here on The Grid today, hanging out with you guys. I thought you meant like peanut butter and jam or something. I thought I made sandwiches for you once.
No, we actually played music.
Yeah.
It was a jam. Yeah. It's a jam if you don't rehearse.
Yeah,
and we didn't rehearse. You said, what song are we playing? I said, whatever. And he said, what key are we in?
I believe I was standing in the crowd and someone said, they tapped me on the arm and said, hey, Scott just called your name to the stage.
Yeah,
play the bass.
See, yeah, but you're really good, so it's no problem. All right, so if you're really good, it doesn't matter.
If we talk about bass today, I'm good.
Anyway, we'll bring up bass. Anyway, we're very glad to have you here.
Thank you.
You're here taping a class on Photoshop, I'm guessing.
I was thinking I was going to do something on Microsoft Paint, but they said Photoshop was preferred. So
it is. We're very biased that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. There could be. I think Paint's making a comeback.
It's making a comeback. Speaking of Paint. Mr. Erik Kuna is here.
Hey, Scott.
Yay.
Hey, Erik. Yay. Woo.
I like to drop the bass.
You do. You do like to drop that bass. It's all about that bass.
Yep.
Hey,
no trouble.
By the way, you were just showing me something cool that you're doing on your Instagram. Was it on Facebook?
Oh, Facebook, yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing the new depth mapping stuff.
Well, so Photoshop has the 3D stuff, but what you can do now is you can actually add a depth map to an existing photo that you have, but right in Photoshop, just create a depth map and then basically merge that depth map with your photo, and then Facebook will recognize it as a 3D photo.
Where can they see that? Do you have a public Facebook page? You don't, do you? He has a private secret one.
No, I have a public. It's
only
a lot of people are
it's just
talking
Erik
about
Kuna.
the new Facebook feature.
Yeah.
You're seeing lots of kittens parallaxing in their backgrounds.
Yes. It's definitely
parallaxing.
So I tried it. Yeah, and I still got to perfect it. And I got to perfect the techniques, but it really was pretty cool.
All right.
I don't know if I could show it. Let's see.
I'm just curious to what it'll actually evolve into. Like, we have all these cool new things that come out, and everyone goes crazy for it. And I'm always wondering, how would I use this?
Remember the look? You could look around the room in 360.
Yeah.
And then it just died.
It just completely.
It was like it was everywhere, and everybody went, "I'm tired of looking around."
Yeah, 360 kind of didn't. But this is kind of the evolution, right? So this is what it is.
It'll be a feature for something at some point.
360.
Augmented reality.
Well, it's going to be the point at which cameras can actually see depth. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's what your iPhone's doing, right?
Yeah,
and that's what a lot of these cameras are doing.
Second
is they're
lens,
actually
IR.
seeing depth.
Yeah.
Hey, just in case you're wondering, this is not our topic today
No,
at
no,
all.
We're just nerding out.
We're just nerding. So just to let you guys know.
It's going to be really cool.
Also, we got giveaways today. We're going to be giving away all kinds of stuff. We have a special giveaway. Let me go all the way to the bottom of the stack. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this brand new. Yeah, you can be. This is Glenn Dewis's new book, The Photoshop Toolbox. And what a perfect show. What a perfect episode to show it, because it's brand new, and Glenn is an awesome author and Photoshop guy and retoucher and
just amazing
compositor and just an amazing all-around person. And he's about to be Brexited. So
this guy.
there he is.
That's him.
Right there. Right there.
Glenn Dewis.
That's as close as. Oh, there he is. Boom.
Hi,
there he
Glenn.
is.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn. Good guy. Really super good guy.
No, okay.
Anyway, we're very excited and honored to have one of his books to give away today. So someone's going to win that, and you don't have to be watching live to win that one. Anybody can win it. Go to KelbyOne.com/contest. Give us your name and say, I want to win Glenn's book. Other things that you can win while you're not watching live are a Lens Pro To Go gift card for $50, so you can like rent a lens for the weekend or something like that.
That's very cool.
And the envelope there that he's holding is a gift certificate for an hour one-on-one Photoshop training from Victoria Pavlov. Victoria Pavlov is a amazingly brilliant digital artist, and she is a Photoshop world instructor, and she's just super awesome, and we love her. And you can get an hour with her. She'll answer whatever you want about digital painting, about Photoshop. She's written books on Photoshop. She's a Photoshop author.
Can you imagine how hard it is to connect to like your favorite author?
Yes.
I imagine you probably can. But I mean, just the fact that you can go to her and ask her all those questions.
I know. You can just say, hey, Victoria, and she'll just tell you.
What brush do you use? What's your favorite brush?
Oh, she's got lots of brushes. She's very brushy. She's a real artist.
Very brushy.
She's very brushy. Also, to someone watching live right now, we're going to give away a Platypod Ultra. This is the Kickstarter one that drove the whole world insane. What did I see? Someone wrote on Twitter that what was platypods taking over the world. Like everybody is getting a platypod, and someone's going to get one today. This is the small one, which replaces your tripod and is so much better. Cool. 3.5 ounces fits in your shirt pocket.
That's really light. I've never actually held one in my hand.
And that's got the accessories and stuff in it.
And the box. I'm holding the box. That's
that's
really
the whole
light.
thing. Oh, it's really light. And then the other one is if you have a very large camera. If you have one of those people that's got like a big 400 millimeter lens or something, we're also going to give away, you have to hold it up.
I got to hold this one up.
The Max.
The Max.
Someone's going to win those today live as we were watching. So there you go.
Cool.
Okay, now.
Hey, before we go to that, let's see. Do you have my phone?
Ooh, wait, maybe we can see his.
Yeah, can you bring it up? So
all right, here we go.
This is what we're talking about, where it has like that 3D kind of parallax effect. Where
the parallax.
So that's from just a regular file right on my DSLR that you put a depth map on it.
Yeah, it's like a HEIF file or something weird
like that.
Right. It's the infrared
It's really cool.
format.
You know, so you can do a lot of cool things with it. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, and I think that's actually what I said in my post.
Nice.
Just
It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah.
That's like a 3D
really cool.
parallax.
Well, what's weird is now you're seeing all the mobile tools like Adobe Spark and things like that auto have parallax in the scrollable content.
Right.
So if you put your parallaxable image in a parallaxable, I think we bend space and time.
This is so nerdy.
It's so nerdy.
Anyways, let's move on.
All right, let's move on. We got a couple of
we
shout-outs.
Lost everybody.
Who do we got in the shout-outs, Eric?
Hey, we got Skegness. We got Mark. Hey, Mark from Skegness.
He's just watching because another Mark is on.
And then we got Ajna saying hi.
Hi, Ajna. Yay.
And then we got Willie from Liverpool saying hi. We got Thomas from Utica, New York. We got Pernell from Denmark. We got Mark Rodriguez saying hola, amigos. Or he actually says olo, amigos.
Oh, he does.
Not sure what olo means, but I think that's something friends. And then David Johnson saying hello, everyone.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. All right, today our topic is Adobe moving forward or going back with Photoshop? And I was talking with Terry.
That's an interesting topic.
It is. I was talking with Terry White today, and so we're going to put this in some context because I think that in the big picture, Adobe is moving forward in a lot of ways with Photoshop, particularly, just my opinion, with their artificial intelligence stuff and their machine learning and the Adobe Sensei and all that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, that select subject stuff.
Select subject
crazy.
is awesome.
That's weird.
Crazy. I freaked out some people.
Wizardry.
I've freaked out some people with that where they'll send something and I can go in and select it and like send them a text back within like a minute and they're like, "How'd you do that?" Select subject. Boom.
It's one button. You click on it and it goes, "Oh, that's a person. I'll select it for you."
Yep.
I dream of the day that I can talk to my Alexa or my Google Home or something, and because you use Sensei in Lightroom as well, right?
Yep.
So it's aware of the subject when you do a search. I want to be able to have that entire thread conversation with my device. I want to be able to say, "Hey Alexa, find me that picture of a turtle in Lightroom and go ahead and select it for me and isolate it in photo." I just want to sit back and do Photoshop from my chair and not really have to click anything.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
Hey,
That's where Adobe should be taking this.
You can also do that by just calling up someone. I get a letter every day from a different company in India offering to do exactly what you're saying. I kid you not.
$1 an image.
Every CEO at a company in India, every day I get a new letter from a new person. It's probably one company, and oh look, There you go. Hi from India. Can't wait to see you in Chicago.
I'm not
So-
sure if that's India or Indiana.
Oh, it's probably Indiana.
But it kind of filled in, right?
Wow,
was gonna say-
it says hi from India. It's Indiana. All right. So anyway, but seriously, I get an email every day, and they go, "Hey, we'll do cutouts." Like that's
Yeah.
what they'll do. They'll do cutouts, and they're super
Yep.
cheap. They're like, 7 cents. We'll cut out anything.
I got one the other day that was I think it was from like Eastern Europe, but it was all they did was frequency separation. That was the thing. It was
Really?
like $5 an image, and we do skin smoothing. And I was like, all right,
I have an action that'll do that.
yeah. I was
for
like,
you.
let's see what this is. But it turns out people are using them. They're getting
Yeah.
paid. They're doing work, and I
That's
was like,
great.
well, I would just buy a plug-in or something. But okay, that's cool.
Anyway, so here's what our topic is. So Adobe made some changes that I think were forward-thinking, very smart moves.
Sure.
And a lot of people loved what they did, but there is a group of people that are so incredibly angry at Adobe, just like beside themselves for doing things like this. You know free transform?
Yeah.
You don't have to hold a shift key
What?
to
I know, it's
to
driving me
resize,
nuts.
right?
This is, do you know?
That one
20
says driving me nuts.
20 plus years of conditioning,
I'd
and now
have
that
to, like-
muscle
I
memory.
know, but it's
Program.
There's no
Ow.
other program that does it, but Photoshop's the only one that makes you hold a key
Yep.
to do the default,
You're
like what every
absolutely
other
right.
program
Right,
is
right,
the default.
right.
So picture someone new coming to Photoshop.
Yeah, it totally makes
Yeah.
sense.
And they just go, this is weird, it's a mess. How do you do? Then they have to go find out, oh, you have to hold a shift key. You're like, they'd be like, this is the only program in the world.
Right.
So a lot of this stuff that they're changing,
Actually, the undo is the,
The
one that's
undo
kind of
one
like,
is-
yeah.
and everybody's
yeah.
freaked out. So here's the thing is, and I want to hear from you guys. I think that Adobe doing these changes are necessary for the future of Photoshop.
Sure.
You got to realize that
Future user base.
Do you know how many people are starting to use Photoshop today? Like, I mean, people are coming. You think, well, doesn't everybody use Photoshop? People are a lot of kids are coming into Photoshop.
Yeah.
They grew up with Photoshop as a part of their culture. It's not like some, I remember one day hearing about a program. They said it's called Photoshop. I'm like, what's it do?
Yeah.
So
And now it's like just part of language.
now it's just, it's part of pop culture.
Although part of it now too is, when we started out, it was you either didn't do graphics or you dove in, right? And then you learned about Photoshop, and there was a very big gap between those 2 points. Now, my 9-year-old edits graphics on her phone using all these different apps.
Yeah.
And then as she's running into limitations, she'll come to me and say, so Dad, how do I do this? And I said, well, you need to use Photoshop. And so there's like these stair steps now for them playing with apps into Photoshop.
So my daughter's 12,
Okay.
and she uses Photoshop. And let me tell you, Mark, there's no prouder father in the world than when she comes and asks me a Photoshop question, and I can actually do
Answer
something
something.
relevant. Oh my! I am just like,
And you're like a magician,
help.
then, right?
oh, and
I
she's
could
like,
help.
Dad, that's awesome. And I'm like, what did you say? Dad, that's great.
And then she asked
And
about
I'm like,
Snapchat filters, and then
I am so thrilled. I am so thrilled. Hey, so Mariana, we got a first comment here. Mariana says Adobe is moving one step forward and two back.
backward.
You know what, Mariana? A couple months from now, you won't even think about it.
Yeah, it'll be so
Now-
absorbed.
Here's what I've learned about my own thing with free transform. And tell
Okay.
me, I don't know, tell me, and you have to be honest about
Okay.
this because that's how we roll in the show. When I go to resize anything, I always forget, and I hold the shift key, and it goes all crunchy.
It goes all kitty wampum. Yeah.
But once I realize the first time, and then for the rest of that session, I remember. But every time I start Photoshop and do the first free transform, I still hold the shift every single time. But then I go, okay, all right, where are you at in the I'm
Yeah,
dealing
no,
with
I
free
think
transform?
that's probably true for me too, because you have to get kind of burned the first time of 2 decades of conditioning, right? And then be like, oh no, and undo it from there. But this isn't the first time they've approached things like that. We used to all use the quick key. You remember you would hold Command to actually skew and free transform an anchor point in the free transform box. You don't see people doing that as much anymore because now you have all these options that pop up with free transform because they didn't want people to have to use that quick key anymore. So now I have to remind myself that
Wait a minute.
it's not the old days.
Wait, you don't use the command key to distort free transform?
You have options now. You have other ways of being able to go and do distortion. So,
Because I have a bug in mind.
uh-oh.
So when I go to free transform something to distort, like I'm trying to fix a lens correction
Yeah.
problem, when I hold command or I choose distort from the pop-up menu, either one, when I drag it, it snaps like a grid.
Oh.
Now I don't have snap to grid on, and if you do have snap to grid on, it still wouldn't do that. I'll show you in a moment.
That's a feature.
It's not a feature. I think it's a bug. I think it's a big, nasty bug. I'm going to show you in a minute, but the words break have appeared in large letters on our screen.
We need to break something.
We're going to break something. While we're waiting, I'm going to fire up Photoshop. It takes about 14 minutes for mine to start. No, I'm just kidding. I'll get it fired up and we'll look at it when we come back from the break. But I guess we're breaking. I mean, once that camera starts moving, you can't stop it.
Can't stop.
Juan will not bring it back down.
In motion.
It's in motion.
It's away.
When you need a tripod that is compact, that is portable enough to take with you anywhere, one that is adaptable to any situation, that will prove versatile enough for any shoot, and is compatible with your other gear, giving you freedom to create your own perspective. Look no further. Platypod Ultra does it all. Visit platypod.com for more info.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Scott Kelby. Joining us is Mark Heaps, Erik Kuna, and on the jib with sweet, smooth motion, that is Juan
Magic
Alfonso.
Juan.
Oh, yeah, Magic Juan. There we go. Hey, glad to have you guys here.
And we got some shout-outs. We got Terry White over there saying hello.
Terry White!
Mr. Terry White, the man, the myth, the legend.
We just shouted out Terry just a minute ago.
Yeah.
He's been on here a few times.
Dave Clayton saying,
Clayton.
good evening, Mr. Heaps.
Hello, Mr. Clayton.
Isn't that interesting how we just says hi to you and not Eric, and like we're not even here?
I
okay.
I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe it's because I'm British.
It's a
Wow.
British thing.
It's a British thing.
You're not British, Mark.
I hate to,
Okay, you're not.
I have two tiny little British
Stephanie's
parents. that would
making a
argue.
comment where she's
Do you
saying,
really have British parents?
Yeah, no. I lived there for like a huge part of my life.
Where were you born?
I was born in the States. I have dual
Then
citizenship.
you're an American,
I have
dude.
dual citizenship.
Dude, you don't have dual citizenship.
do.
Give me your passport. We're taking
you
it
carry
back.
your passport with you?
hey,
Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. It's in my bag
Photoshop
over there.
one for me real quick.
so Stephanie's saying I'm slowly getting used to that, so I think she's talking about
Hey,
the
before we
change.
get to
Holding
Stephanie, do you mind if I mention something,
Yeah,
Eric?
yeah.
Because I'm coming to Chicago with a seminar, and I want people to be there. And I want it to just be me and an empty room and a projector.
Is it about Photoshop?
Well, thank you. It is. It's Photoshop for Lightroom users.
Is it about Lightroom?
It is. So if you're it's coming to Chicago like in a few weeks.
Yep.
It's not an Excel
So-
conference.
No, it's not.
Spreadsheets.
So come out. It's going to be at the Rosemont Convention Center, which it
Only
says the
1
Donald
hour.
E. Stevens, but nobody knows it as that. Anyway, I'm going to be in Rosemont. It's going to be a ton of fun. And if you like Photoshop, if you're one, a lot of people are like, I know I need to learn Photoshop. in one day, your head is going to explode. Because you know what I read from people who've already been to the tour? Oh my gosh,
exploded?
I can't believe how much I learned today. I always wanted to learn Photoshop. Now I know it, blah, blah, blah.
I think one person even said my head exploded.
Their exact
Yeah.
words were, my head exploded. And it was Terry White, so weird. No, it wasn't Terry. Anyway, but come on out. I'm also going to be in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm going to be in someplace else. Atlanta. So all three of those, if you're either in Chicago or Atlanta, come out. I'm going to be in Atlanta and Fort Lauderdale in December. So I hope that you will come out and spend the day with me. It's tons of fun, and it's 100% guaranteed. If you go and you're like, this sucks, I hate Photoshop, I hate Scott, you get your money back. So anyway, now you can say stuff, Eric.
Oh, I was just saying that Stephanie said she's slowly getting used to this stuff.
Yeah, you get used to it.
And what you're going to show is, new stuff.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you my problem here. Okay,
Yes.
so this is, I didn't turn on my thing here. Hold on. I have to turn on I have to access video control room, blah, blah, blah. And Jason will let us know when he sees it. Does Jason see it?
He's going to make
Jason does see it. All right. So first off, let's go ahead and look at my screen here. And that's not my screen. That's
your
not,
other screen.
Yeah, let me go to my
mirroring.
displays and turn on mirroring, something, blah, blah. Arrangement, mirror displays.
Ooh.
Everything got big.
All right, let me resize this.
There you go.
All right, well, we're going to have to do better than that. All right, so here is this.
All right. Oh,
Okay, that's not it. That's Apple
not
TV. There we go.
There we go.
Nicely done. All right.
But your movie choices look
So,
excellent.
so this is, thank you. So this is the cover of a book that I did that is nothing but my chapter intros. There are people out there that really enjoy them, and there are people that hate them on a level you can't imagine. If you're a KelbyOne member, they can get this for free, can't they?
KelbyOne members, this is part of your toolkit.
Yeah, you can go to the toolkit and
Yeah,
get
the
this.
creative toolkit
And it's
has
just,
this in it.
I picked out my favorite chapter intros. It's a whole book of chapter intros. There's no content. It is just chapter intros. Or you can go buy it at Amazon if you're not a KelbyOne Pro member. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. I have two bugs. Can I show you both my bugs?
Yeah.
They're both free transform related.
Yes.
So when they just changed the key, they must have screwed up something big. Here we go. See the guy here? I'm going to go to free transform. I'm going to hold the command key, which will let you distort it, right?
Yep.
Watch what happens.
Ooh, look at that.
It's jumping around.
Right. It's
like
snaps.
House of Pain.
Yeah, it jumps.
Can you not go diagonally? Like you're moving, it only moves out or up.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's struggling.
You know
to-
what that stuff is? Whack.
That's whack. That stuff is
whack.
whack.
That's
Yeah, it
interesting.
doesn't let you just distort like normal. So when I'm trying to fix like a lens problem or something, it just it won't.
Just
Look,
whoop,
you see? Look, I'm dragging up and then it goes to the side. Like I'm trying to go to it at a 45-degree angle and it takes
Yeah,
off.
it doesn't let you.
Yeah, it's messed up. That's problem number one. Problem
Whack.
number two is this: if you have your rulers visible, and you like, I would often like go to free transform. And this is just a Photoshop tip here, which we weren't supposed to give tips today, but we're given one. You see how it marks the center of your photo?
Yeah,
Like,
your
so if
anchor.
you, so if this was the center of your image, right?
Right.
So I would bring a guide out and mark it. But look, you bring the guide out and free transfer, it won't let you do both.
Oh, it went away.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I
I haven't
know.
seen that one yet.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's so there's a couple of little bugs, not bad stuff, but little bugs. But anyway, that was just a byproduct of the love.
So Brett's asking, is content aware scale broken or is it just me?
Interesting question, Brett. What it is it's kind of broken. So I want to show you here. I'm gonna do something here. Let me flatten this image and get rid of that. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna place this image into a different document. So watch. We're gonna go to New, and we'll create a document that is anamorphic widescreen. Yay. Okay. Then we're gonna grab that. Of course, it's not gonna fit right.
For all
right?
those times you want anamorphic widescreen.
Right.
I was gonna say.
So let's say that I wanted to oh gosh, I just
Hey, you just did it.
Oh,
You just did it.
only
You did it.
only the first time.
Only the first time.
Only
You
the
just
first
did it.
time, but always.
The rest of the day you'll be fine. The
All
rest
right.
of the day you'll be
Can
fine.
you show my screen again? This is a bug that I've had now for 2 versions of Photoshop, where I close something like free transform
Yeah.
and it still shows the little thing.
Yeah, why is the
I've
box
had
still there?
that for like 2 years. I've given up on even asking about that. Okay, so I can get rid of it if I kind of zoom out and then zoom back
Oh,
in.
wow, refresh.
Oh, look
So
at that.
if I wanted this to fit,
That's
right?
whack.
All right. So here's what happens. If I say if
If.
I want to go to content-aware scale, you're supposed to be able to drag this to fill that up, right?
And it's super smart about it.
But what happens is, it's dragging the whole image up. That needs to be changed. You have to hold shift so it just pulls the one side. This is the one time. This is the one time
You want it to work.
You
want it
want it to
backwards.
stretch.
You want it.
So Adobe actually should go, and Terry and I were just talking about this right before we
Undoing
went
that
on air.
feature.
Undo.
That
Control
feature
Z that.
needs to be undoed, because that one you
Command
do need
Z.
to stretch.
Undo,
And
undo.
people would not know, just like the gentleman just said, Brett, was it? Just Brett Michaels,
Yep.
I think he's from.
Yeah, Brett Michaels,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's from Poison.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Is it broken? No.
it's not broken. You just got to hold the shift key. So
just
there
gotta-
you go.
Hey, Glenn says he has a fix for your
Yeah.
other transform. You just have to add an extra quick key.
Wait a minute, this is new. Glenn says, checking in, this guy
The author of this book.
who we're giving away today, who we're just talking about, somebody must have said they're talking about you on the grid. So Glenn says, when using distort, holding down the shift at the same time stops the snapping.
So
Let's test this.
so the question to me was, why do you need to do that?
Yeah, why would you need to do that? That's never been in Photoshop before.
But let's try it.
Let's try it.
Let's see if it fixes
Oh, I think Glenn's, he knows his stuff.
Oh, no, he totally does.
Yeah, he's super. If he says it, I'm going to say it's right.
Yeah.
Let me do a million
Undo.
undos. Here we go. We
New
go
feature.
to it. We go to it.
So you do
We
command
hold-
first.
Command and then now shift.
There's your smooth distort.
That man is a genius.
That's why he doesn't have any hair, because it's so much brains going
There's
on.
so much brains. It packs every bit of it.
That might be a little whack, though.
That stuff is whacked.
That is
So I
whack.
don't understand. Yeah, so that's what we're talking
All
about
right.
today, right?
Well,
how
this is another one of those things that Brett thought something was broken. I thought something was a bug. The only person in the world that knows is Glenn.
Yeah.
That's not right.
But the question about like
That's
shift
whacked.
is, should that be the default, right? Shouldn't it work that way just by
That's the
default?
way it's always been. Why
Right.
would you add more keys? So, by the way, can I show
Like,
you
that's
this?
the way it should
Wait,
work.
here's
Right,
why it's
right.
messed up. This is why this is
That's
messed
what
up.
the problem is.
Watch.
Some of
If
it
you
is like
go
that.
and choose distort from the menu,
Right.
you should not then have to hold a key,
Absolutely.
but you do. Look.
Oh,
no,
so
no,
now if you
no,
hold
no.
shift now, does it fix it? Oh.
Yeah, but that's totally broken. If you choose the function,
Right,
from
it
the
should
menu-
work that way.
It's
Yeah.
almost like they went the opposite way on that
Yeah,
one.
this is a bug. This is straight
opposite
up a bug.
way than they should have. Undo the right way. It's
Undo,
like every other
yes.
program,
Yep.
like Microsoft Word,
Yeah.
from the inception of time.
Yep.
It's one way to do undo. But this,
Universal
backwards.
norms.
All right,
Now,
Jeremiah,
They're just confusing us.
which, by the way, best name ever.
Hey, Alan.
Jeremiah says the fact that our industry struggles. The fact is, our industry struggles with change. We're set in our ways, so then we have to adjust. I've been 100% against mirrorless until I finally rented the EOS R. Hey, that's how we were.
Yeah.
Right. I now have to admit that I see myself going in that direction once they release a sports version. Adobe is in it for the long game, and they fix things that we agree with, but we complain about the change. That's a bug, so I'm not counting that.
Right.
However,
Productive change.
but I'm telling you what, there are things that Photoshop's been around 25 years or 20.
26, because they did the
20,
25
right.
anniversary at one of.
Been
one of
around
the
26 years.
Long time.
So the reason why Adobe hasn't changed a lot of things is because people complain so much. Like there are people that are, I'm going to go find this guy's comment.
Well, there's a lot. There's
I'm gonna go-
That the free transform and the undo is like frustrating people to no end.
Yeah, but guys, we learn all new
I
stuff
know.
all the
I know.
time.
Well,
all the time.
Part of it is where you get the feedback to influence those decisions, right? So if you've got a lot of new users that maybe aren't working in the industry, they have a sort of conception of what they think it should work as. And then if they post more to Adobe than working professionals do, that's going to be the change we see. It just depends on what's communicated with them.
All right.
Uh-oh.
All right.
This is dangerous. We're
I'm
scrolling YouTube
going to
comments.
read
Oh,
some
YouTube
YouTube comments. So I did a little video for my blog.
Show's over.
And it was just called, you don't have to show my screen or anything. It was just called the end of the holding the shift key, okay? I don't want cancel. It was called the end of holding the shift key. And I just did a little, there's not even audio in it. It was just said, hey, here's the deal. All right.
Right.
So I'm going to read you a couple of comments. So let me get this straight. You flat out reversed the logic that we've been using for decades. Seriously? Then the next one, I personally despise, in all caps.
All caps.
I despise this new update. I've been using Photoshop for years, and there was absolutely no reason to make this change. By the way, yes, there was. If you wanted to make an edit and keep its proportion, you held down the shift key to make sure. Now you have to hold it down to edit everything else. No sense. Now, they didn't just stop though. Read more.
Read more.
You have to click this.
This is the equivalent to holding down shift to move something non-aligned. At least give people an option to change back. Now it's how it's been since Photoshop's beginning. And then I love your books and all your content you share with everyone, but this is very unnecessary change. All right.
Now, you
made the
can,
change, right?
though. You can take it back, right?
You can take it back. Here's what you have to do.
You
have
can
to
be that old
go-
curmudgeon. who
You can
wants
say,
it the way
hey,
it
want it the
is."
way it's always
Get off
been.
my lawn.
Here's
Get
what,
off
get
my
off
lawn.
Get off
my
my
lawn.
lawn.
Here's what you do. You don't change things. You put them back the way they were. Here's what you do. Go to Google. You might have heard of it. Go to Google and search for Photoshop 2019 shift key perspective, and you will find a script that you drop into Photoshop that will change it back to the old way, to where you have to hold shift, and this will be the only program that you own, the only one of all of the programs that you own that works that way. That's why they changed it, because they did it. It's not for absolutely no reason. It's for a huge reason. Number one, it's stupid to hold a shift key to do the
It's been stupid since the
expected. It's
beginning.
been stupid since day
Since
one.
the beginning.
But number two is, since this is the only program that works that way, all the other programs, like in the world, resize everything without holding shift.
But
the only one is
But you
Photoshop.
pointed out, right? Adobe has to be thinking about new users
Yeah.
and the adoption of new users over time, because
And workflow, speed of workflow.
And I keep bringing this up, but it's also, people are now, like, younger people are using their phones. You don't have a quick key set. So if they resize, they just drag it and they reset. That's how it works, not just in computers, but everything. So Adobe has to align to what we see kind of just in the
See how
tech
we
world.
worked a line in there?
Maybe,
Oh.
maybe Adobe was just so frustrated that so many people were distorting their logos. Because I'll tell you, it frustrates me to no end.
Stretching brands.
Yo, it's so bad. Like, I remember, like, you know, when we have documents and, like, you know, like HR will design a document and it's like the logo. I'll be like, that's not our logo. It's stretched.
Don't
You
stretch
can't
our
do
logo.
that.
Stretching portraits.
All right, we have to take a break. We got other stuff, important stuff, blah, blah, blah. We're going to take a break. Hey, but before, bring it back down one.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't ready. That was premature jubilation.
Anyways,
I wasn't ready. Can you switch cameras?
Uh-oh.
Hi,
I
we're back.
had a Wayne and Garth moment.
All
Camera
right.
one, camera two.
camera one.
Camera one.
two.
Camera one. All right.
Camera one, camera
I
two.
just want to mention to you guys that in starting like late next week, we are going to have our annual cyber deals. So it is our best. It is
deals.
our best deals of the year on
Best
KelbyOne and Photoshop World. Next year, Photoshop World is in two places. It is in Orlando, Florida in early summer, and it is in Las Vegas at the Mirage Resort and Casino in late summer. So it's going to be in two different coasts, an East Coast and a West Coast, just like we used to do. We're very excited about it, and we're going to have the best deals of the year during Cyber. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. Keep an eye out, because we'll be letting you know what the deals
Yeah,
are.
you can get a KelbyOne membership too for like, it's like 90, the pro membership annual for like $90 off what it regularly
Like $90 off. That's a lot of money off. You know, it's almost free. So anyway, that's all coming up. I just want to give you a heads up.
No, it's not almost free.
It's almost free. It
close
feels like it's
feels
free.
like, yes.
Feels like the
feels
first time.
like it.
All right, we're going to take a break. Now we can go to the jib safely and securely in the knowledge.
I just feel like waving by. Just
Here it
going down.
goes.
It's like leaving us.
It's
It's not
going.
though. It's not. It's going up.
Out of the
Watch how
atmosphere.
high he goes with it. It's really it's obscene.
Stratosphere.
It's obscene. Look at that.
Oh,
Wow.
it's
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version, too. So sign up today.
Boosters at night.
Should I call it out now?
Hello, everyone.
It's dropping through the atmosphere.
Mark mentioned that we said Amazon and we didn't drink. So,
I've been told that's a drinking game, so
yeah,
Amazon up.
Amazon up.
Yeah.
Amazonian.
Welcome back, everybody. Mark Heaps and Erik Kuna joining me today. We're talking about stuff that makes us mad in Photoshop, changing anything. Let's see.
That makes us mad, changing anything.
Richard Johnson. Richard said, by the time you train yourself to do it this way, they will change it. I don't know, Richard. I think it's been 20-something years. I think you're good for a while. Hey, John asks, is anyone else having the issue with the text being cut off at the top and bottom? So, John, I think I know what your problem is. I don't think it's an issue with Photoshop. Might be wrong.
He might be talking about leading. Right?
Yeah, I would do this. Go
Could
choose
be a setting in the text.
Go choose your type. Go choose your type layer, and then go to your character panel and choose reset, and I'll bet the problem goes away. Just give that a shot.
Might be some funky setting.
Might be some funky setting, because this happened to me many years ago, and I thought it was a bug, and it wasn't. It was a setting in my character panel. So just go to your character panel and choose reset. And by the way, the person who confirmed that that was the case, that that's how you do it, was Christina over there. She's like, oh yeah, you go choose reset. And she's like, she's a Photoshop guru.
She was on it.
She's Photoshopping it. Hey, Alan Hess is here. Alan says, hi, Mark and Scott and Erik. Hi, Alan.
Hey, Alan.
And let's see, what are our other comments here, Mr. Kuna?
We got Daniel saying, I remember when Photoshop had only one step back.
And you were
saving after every time. I remember
Daniel,
that too.
I remember it big time before the history.
Before the history panel.
Absolutely.
Before we called them palettes and not panels.
And by the way, this is, I know a lot of people are upset with this, but
like
every
Richard.
other program, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, that's how you undo. So this stuff is whacked.
Yep.
I wonder just why it took so long for that. I mean,
I really think it's because they're concerned about backlash. I mean, when you do change things, there are going to be a bunch of people that just don't like change. They're like, I've always done it that way.
Sure.
And they're just,
That's it. It's just because it was the way it was designed to do it. And
how did the rest of the comments go in that thing?
But you have people like that still. I get emails all the time from people that say, I'm not changing from CS5. I'm not changing from CS6.
Oh,
because they that's the feature set that they love, or they get a new version and they back up from it.
Which is cool. It just
if
means
it works
you're gonna be slower than everybody else in the world.
Right.
I mean, that's what it means.
Here's another comment.
It'll take you a lot longer.
I got some good comments. This is completely stupid and unnecessary change. Now we need to get the automatic switch on our brains to hold the shift key. And you're thinking we were asking you to squeeze toothpaste back into the tube. It's just like, hey, guess what? You don't have to hold that key. What? This is crazy. I mean, look at this. And he's like, I've been using Photoshop since '94. Yes, I'm that old. It's automatic. Command plus T, hold shift and resize. Why change that? But there is more. I can't even read the rest. It's
not appropriate.
It's not appropriate. It's not safe for work.
We have friends at Adobe.
We have friends there. Well, they wouldn't be our friends.
Swore at Adobe.
Yeah, but they had to go on, and people are thumbs upping it. They're thumbs up. Yeah.
I didn't realize I had to read more. You definitely cannot read that.
There's more.
Ooh, there's some WTO.
Someone commented on one of the videos I saw online, and it was
taking shots at Apple too. So,
but all the updates were announced, right? And I saw various people are doing their videos about it, and the best one I saw was, "Does Adobe have nothing else to do?" And that was literally a
they're
comment.
Making it better.
Yeah,
they're making it better.
But I think people forget that. You think that you're trying to always innovate with new technology. For me, I'm excited when Adobe goes back and just makes the stuff we have work better. When they refine it, and those are like their JDI requests, right? Just improve the program for us, align it to our workflow. You're going to get lost in a pool of YouTube.
Hey, look, somebody.
That's a black hole.
So after
that is a black hole.
So you go to YouTube when you want to die.
Yeah. After that guy wrote that big long thing, a guy comes back and goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Take a deep breath now." I've been using Photoshop since version 3, and while it was strange at first, the change makes sense as 99% of my resizing requires a fixed ratio. Yeah. It'll take a few weeks to readjust, but big whoop. Same thing with multiple undo. Who on earth steps back? Uh-oh, here we
Read
go.
more. Read more.
Steps back once using Option Z. Most people have to go back 2 or more steps, so the easier shortcut should be used for the more common situation. The old shortcuts had their days numbered. This change was overdue.
It's just going to take a little while to get used to it, and then once you get used to it, it'll become.
It's a zinger. We saw Scott do it earlier. It only hurts the first time.
Yeah, but then you're fine with it. Hey, Christina, let's pick a winner for the Platypod Ultra at random, and don't pick Rose Kieran again. Rose won big last week. She won big. She won like a think tank bag. She hit the jackpot.
Gosh.
Is my chair getting smaller?
I think so.
Who is it? Darlene Payton, you just won an Platypod Ultra. So congratulations to Darlene, who's watching live. It pays to watch live. There it is.
The Platypod Ultra.
And it just, it's beautiful. Makes you want to cry.
I'm going to put it right there.
There you go. I love my
It's coming
Platypod.
to a home near you.
I don't know. Why would they make it smaller? Why would they change it?
I don't know. Hey, can I have
Why would
something?
you make multiple undos?
All right, I have something that has nothing to do with anything. Can I show you? Give me 1 second to pull it up here. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's completely nothing, all right? But I do want to, so I did an interview. Hold on, hide sidebar.
Have you been interviewed before?
I have. I did an interview with a Swedish magazine. They're Swedish, and it's the Swedish version of Playboy. No, it's made you think there for a second, didn't I? No, it is a Swedish magazine. It's big in Sweden and Finland and Norway. And anyway,
Basically Scandinavia.
yeah, it's a Scandinavian, but it's like a Photoshop and photography and all this stuff. Anyway, so they did a thing about my Lightroomness, right? And I'm going to show you. It's really nice. I have no idea what it says. I hope it's nice. It showed my
there's
book.
you.
There's my new book.
Nice.
Showed lots of pictures, and they asked
fire.
for the pictures they
Fire.
wanted, and then and look at this though. Watch what happens here. Freaking Platypod right there. Like they wanted to know what are your favorite accessories. I'm like right there. It's Platypod.
Yeah. Underväliga.
Hey, don't use words I don't know what they mean. And you said it with an accent. It's because you're British.
That's
Dude,
what we do. We try to emulate everything
If you're British,
that we can.
I'm British.
We can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, look, my mother was born in Spain, right? I don't go around saying
I get it.
on like job applications.
No.
Latino.
I've made this joke before. I need to add another tattoo. I need one that says "Made in America with British parts," because that's really
That's good.
That's really the truth of what it is. But I did live there.
that's-
I went to school there. I went to college there. So
Did they make fun of you for having a like American accent?
all the time.
They're
all the
like,
time.
hey, it's not a trunk. They
Yeah.
said stuff like
So-
that to you. Like, hey, it's not a trunk.
Right.
So can't we all just get along?
It's not a garage.
No.
It's a garage.
All right. Yeah, it's not a garage by the
anyways,
motorway.
This,
Wait a minute.
so
I haven't got to
Lightroom
my
thing.
story yet.
Okay, do
This
your story.
Lightroom thing.
This Lightroom thing.
This magazine.
Or
Or
we can talk about this.
magazine.
There you go. Do that. Scandinavia.
All right. So anyway, I got a note from the editor, and she said one of our readers saw this, and they said you composited these books in there, that they're not real, that
No
they're not
way
really
they can
there.
be real.
And I'm like, I would have composited better looking books than that. In fact, I wouldn't have composited books there at all. And I'm like, I knew I didn't do it, but I thought I better go back and look at the original. No, that's exactly like they are. It doesn't look great, but it's how it was. I mean, it is. And I told her, I said, I hate to disappoint your reader, because they were all excited, like, ooh, he put those books in
gotcha.
afterwards.
I
Yeah, and they're
gotcha.
way out of focus. Like if you look, they're like, it looks like I added like their Adobe stock books or
Right,
something.
right, little Gaussian
and I put
blur.
them in the side there. But anyway, they were all like, hey, you added those books. I'm like, no,
think
I
you added
didn't.
That fire in that shot.
Those books were really, really there.
Yeah, those flames.
Hey, you know
out
what I
there.
did do? You see this this thing right here?
Which one?
This was and probably still is my #1 most liked Instagram picture of this trolley. And no one ever mentioned like, except for like Fernando. Cheeky Nando
Can't
said,
see it.
you can't see it?
Oh, the image isn't up on screen.
Oh,
Ooh.
ooh,
special defects.
Special effects.
All right, I'll find it on the break. I'll find it. I'll show you, and then we'll talk about
Shot.
what. Because I'm not afraid to use Photoshop. If I think, hey, this will look better with a little Photoshop, I don't have a
Speaking of
problem with
the
that.
dolly, we got to take a break and do some dollying with the jib.
Dolly before the trolley.
That was bad.
I know.
You're off the show. Christina, you're here next week. He's fired.
It's going. It's going.
Emily, look who I have. Look at my bunny.
So exciting.
exciting. It's so exciting to watch those little ones, because the beauty is you can capture so many different moments within truly a few seconds. I think when we think of capturing child portraits and you think of, okay, I need to capture this picture with the child smiling and looking at the camera, instead I think about the age and what children are doing. Toddlers ages 1 to 3 are not sitting hardly ever and staring and smiling. It's not what they do. If they're the type of child who really truly is exploring according to their own terms, that's what I want. You can create such beautiful art of little ones. Just be in the moment and play. Kids are exploratory by nature, and if you just have your camera in hand, being ready for every moment, not for the moment, but every moment, you'll be sure to capture it. I'm Tracy Sweeney. Check out my latest course, Pro Tips for Photographing Toddlers, on KelbyOne.com.
Photography is a performance art. So that every time I go to a location now, I walk away with a storybook of not only the hero, but vignettes. I love little scenes. I love component parts that make up the whole. It's more than just using your eyes. It's listening, it's feeling, it's making choices and determinations that bring your point of view into your image. Be specific, make really strong choices. Take a moment, and even when you think you have the shot, question yourself and say, is there more? And take it as far as you can. The more we do it this way, in a really present way, in a joyful way, in a loving way, and bringing, everything we have to the moment, the more it spreads into your image.
I'm Dave Williams, and I'm inviting you to a brand new course on KelbyOne, Cinematic Drone Photography. I'll be showing you everything you need to create the best photos and the best video from your drone. How to replicate things that are done in Hollywood movies to make the best cinematic videos and photos that you can, and to really stand out among the crowd in this ever-growing drone market. With the rise of commercial drones becoming much more affordable, you need to be the one that stands out among the crowd, and I'm going to show you how to do that.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Hey, we're back, Scott and Mark and Eric, and we're talking about Photoshop stuff today. I've got that image up for you, so if you want to take a look on my screen here. So here's the image, and what I did was, there were like, and I'm not exaggerating, like 50 power lines and lines on the cable car, because it's a cable car. It's running off of, electricity, and it looked terrible. And so I took them all out using a program called Apple Photos. No, I used Photoshop. And anyway, no one ever says anything. No one ever says, hey, where are they all? Except for Fernando, because Fernando was there, and he's like, Scott, my friend, where are the cables?
I think Fernando was in the shot, and you took him out, right?
No, I had to chase him and Piotr and all. They were all in my shot. I'm like, dudes, I got up here to shoot this exact thing at this exact time on this exact street, and everybody's wandering into my shot. I almost killed him. Anyway. But it wasn't Fernando. It was Piotr and Pisco. I don't think it was Fernando. Chiquinando. Anyway, but that's really doesn't have anything to do with anything.
And you said this is your most liked image ever on Instagram?
Yeah, I think it's like my number. Like it's got like 7,000 likes, which for me is a lot. And for some people, it's like, oh, I get 7,000 shots if I show my breakfast, but I'm not that guy. All right. So what did I want to tell you? Kathy Perevsky. We always read her comments.
Yeah, Kathy.
Every comment from Kathy Perevsky gets read.
Words of wisdom. Better is better. Hey, what about Rocky's situation here? I know what this is, though. Yeah, he's saying, I'm getting a red square in part of my image. When he reopens it, it goes away. Right. Anytime you get red square, what's happened is your Photoshop has been hacked by the Russians. And take a look at my image. My image has been hacked. Watch. Take a look. Go back to my image.
This stuff is whacked. So it's that kind of thing.
That guy just appears randomly on your photos.
Yeah,
It's a feature.
And some people get a red square.
So what really, the red square thing, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think that would be?
I was trying to rack my brain. I mean, if it's going away, like you said, it's not a dead pixel.
It's not a dead pixel if it's going away.
Thing.
It's a Russian thing.
It's a Russian thing.
It's das Pistol. No, I'm trying to think. Was it be like
Russian.
a...
You know why? He's a
England.
commie.
Yeah.
English commie.
That's probably true.
English
Probably true.
Brexit commie is his full name.
That's right.
Mark Heaps. And his
Agent.
business
Agent.
card says,
At least earn me the title of agent.
it says English Brexit commie agent.
I was trying to think though, there's plugins in Lightroom that talk about like focal points that are little red square. I was trying to rack my brain, like what little red square?
I don't know.
Something's
That's
whack.
weird.
I'm going to guess it is a graphics card thing.
Yeah, that would
I'm
make
also
sense.
going to guess. Ready? Are you on Mac
Clipping?
or PC? Let us know so we can make fun of you. Let's see what else we got. Okay, what we need to do, let's just take a pause for a second. We only have 7 minutes left. We need to go to Juan's Instagram page. So,
Or we could go to Juan's Instagram page.
let's go to Juan's Instagram page and see what's going on. It's nice to
How
check
much we
in
up
with
to?
Juan. Okay, here's Juan's.
There it is.
Ooh, I don't know.
That's some good shots, Juan.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
Juan's got a lot of good
Awesome
shots. But I'm thinking, what is that shot of in the corner? Is that Larry's class? What is that?
Oh, is that the Z?
Oh, it's Canon.
Oh, it's Canon. Oh, yeah.
Oh, but don't, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we do have an announcement on the
Oh, yeah,
classes.
we got a class coming out this week
Yeah.
from Larry Becker on the brand new Nikon Z7,
Yep.
which is a car.
Mirrorless.
It's the mirrorless.
Mirrorless car.
Full frame.
Mirrorless car. No, the new Z7.
Self-driving.
And in that class, we have interviews in the class from Joe McNally, Dixie Dixon, Cliff Mountner, and
Stacy Pearsall.
All right, all Nikon ambassadors.
Smart people.
And smart people and great photographers. So that is coming out this week, hosted by Mr. Larry Becker.
And then Larry goes over all the camera settings
Of course.
with the Z7 and all that stuff.
But it's nice to talk to people that have used it
Yep.
and are extensively been in there and give you
Out
their
in the
little-
wild. The
out
real
in
user.
in the wild. Hey, so can I say something?
Okay, go ahead.
Because we brought up the Canon EOS there, so Eric and I used that extensively, and we had to return ours to Canon, for which we were crying about. Wah, wah. But so when I was in Rome doing my workshop, one of my students had already bought it, got the EOS R, and he spent a month with it, and he wrote me this big long email of all the things he loved about it.
The dials
and
are delightful.
he's got everything. He has everything. He's got all the different cameras. He has an EOS R and a 5D Mark IV, and he wrote me a whole thing and said, "I've had it a month, and here's my review." And he was just all the things he was loving about it. He loves the dial. He loves the screen. He loves all this stuff. Anyway, it was nice to see, because it would really been bad if he wrote me a big long note saying,
I hate
you
this
said it was
camera.
good and I hate it. But he
I'm going to go
loved
on
it.
YouTube and comment about it.
And yeah. And then another one of my students, Willie, he went and got one too. And so it's like, it's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, now Eric and I don't have one. We're like,
Wah, wah.
wow, wow.
But you're getting one. Sounds like you're getting one.
So what I'm trying
I'm
to
definitely
do,
getting
I
one.
haven't been successful yet because I haven't called, but I'm trying to talk Canon into just let me buy the one the used one.
Yeah.
Just give me a deal on it.
That's all I need.
That's all I need is a deal. Give us a deal. And if you're Canon and you're watching, give us a deal. It's not like, say, what's it cost? $2,300 for the body?
Yeah.
Just give it to us for like $300.
Yeah.
Dude, we brutalized those cameras we had, didn't we? We're throwing
that
in
thing's got so many dents and
Eric
scratches.
lowered his into a volcano in Hawaii. He lowered
my
it
gosh.
into the volcano and was going to do like a sacrifice.
There was a
Yeah.
duct
I was
tape
like,
thing.
no,
No,
bring
no,
it back.
no, bring it up. Bring it up.
Hey, we only have 4 minutes left. Can we talk about something else? Because I got a thing.
Yep.
What you got?
Photoshop on the iPad, and I'm going to ask you, Mark Heaps.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Now-
announcements about this right now. It's been
There-
hot. It was featured all over the web.
I know, but I'm concerned. I have a concern.
Okay.
Here's what my concern is.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to tell you up front, I have not had any meetings with Adobe. They haven't shown me anything secret. I know exactly as much about Photoshop for the iPad as you guys did. I was in the keynote when they announced it. I watched it. I read the stuff. I don't have any secret information.
Sure.
But I think it is important to temper our expectations. Because Adobe says, and they say it right out loud, it's real Photoshop. I believe that it is. And you have a friend that's been working on it.
Yeah. So Apple and Adobe did an event together in New York City, and one of my clients, Isabel LeMay, who's an amazing Photoshopper, digital fine artist, she makes these these composites out of flowers and plants, and they're huge files, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of layers. And I've seen the files. I've worked on them. I've edited them. They're massive.
Massive.
And they took her file, and during the demo, they opened it in the real Photoshop for iPad Pro at the event, and they actually were moving through the layers and working through it, and they were changing settings, and they were, you know, playing with moving it into augmented reality, and can you move through the layers that way?
Cool.
And, you know, I think you're right in the sense of tempering the expectation. But before I even got into what features exist and what features don't exist, I know how massive her files are, and the fact that it opened it. If you'd have told me 5 years ago you could open anything close to that on a mobile device,
Right.
I'd say you're crazy.
So I am not knocking the iPad Pro, and
Sure.
all. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be kill.
But I mean, that alone floored me.
But I want to. I think it will open that big a file and work on it. No problem.
Sure.
It's not what I that. So here's the thing, and I'm going to frame it this way. We had Lightroom Classic,
right,
and then Adobe came out with Lightroom CC.
right.
Lightroom CC has about almost half the features of the other Lightroom. It's got some good stuff, and they added a lot more. When it launched, I don't think it even had 50%.
Yeah,
maybe now it is
right.
55
Not even close,
or
yeah.
57, but there's a ton
It's
of
growing.
stuff.
It's growing.
You can't even print out of Lightroom CC. There's no way to print. There's no print button.
There's no
you hit
tethering,
Command T. There's
yeah.
no tethering. There, you can go on and on.
Right.
But that's not what this is about. Now,
That's kind of your point, though.
compared to Photoshop, Lightroom has this many features.
Right.
Photoshop, this many.
Sure.
Lightroom, this
Marketing speak versus
Right.
engineering speak.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
And what I think people should kind of wake up to is it is going to be real Photoshop on an iPad, but it ain't going to be all of Photoshop.
It's not going to be 100% parity.
100% parity. I'll be amazed if they have 40% parity.
All right, 40%.
You have 121 filters. You've got like
Yep.
70 tools. It is no way it's going to ship with actions,
Right.
with 3D features, with analytics. I mean, there's so many weird. There are tools. I mean, there are tools in here that no one's ever used.
So maybe
Right,
it's going to
right.
have the stuff that 80%
Well, I
of
was
us
gonna say,
use.
I think it'll have
I
a
think
lot
that
of
was your
good
point because
stuff.
you had said, I think Eric described it really good earlier. He says it's probably Photoshop enough, right,
That's
for
what it's gonna
the
be.
majority
It's
of
gonna
users.
be for the majority.
I know, but when Adobe says it's real Photoshop, you close your eyes
I
and you're
getcha.
picturing real, all of Photoshop, and I'm going to
Yep.
go in there and I'm going to run these actions and all, and they're like,
Sure.
oh, well, there's no actions. Well, what are that? Oh, there's not that. Oh, are there channels? Yeah, maybe, but
And how many quickies are there?
4. There are no quick keys. Anyway, I want to temper people's expectations.
I
Hey,
getcha.
we're running
I
out of
getcha.
time.
That's fair.
We have to give away another platypod, and we're going to do it right now to some unlucky.
The Max,
This is the big boy.
not the Ultra.
This is the
The
big one.
The Max.
The Max,
Max.
is going. Who's it? And Christina is randomly going to pick someone that she's angry at, and
I'll just
and
use this to
commented
hide
on
my
the
this
face.
stuff.
YouTube
Hide
video.
your face, Mark. Periodontus. Periodontical.
All right, Richard Johnson.
Oh, Richard Johnson. Yes.
Richard Johnson.
Richard Johnson.
I know Richard.
Congratulations. Do you know Richard?
I do know Richard.
Do you want to just take this to him? It'd save us
He
shipping.
lives, I think, in Florida.
Oh, then you want
Oh.
to drive it over there when the show's
Yeah,
over?
we'll just drive it over.
Richard, I'll just swing by.
So anyway, congratulations, Richard. You just won a Platypod Max,
Yeah,
which is an
There
awesome,
you go.
awesome thing. Well, guys, we've run out of time, and we
Oh, the
actually
clock
have
just
to.
turned
We have
red.
to kind of go. Hey, I do want to give a plug, if I may. If you're a KelbyOne Pro member, make sure you go check out our community. We have the best community, personal opinion, of course, on the web for photographers and Photoshop and Lightroom people. It is such a helpful, friendly, welcoming community. You don't find the stuff that you find in other forums where people are mean and awful. It is a friendly, happy, awesome place.
It's the opposite of YouTube
and
comments.
is the opposite of YouTube comments.
That's our goal with the community.
The opposite,
The opposite
of
of
YouTube
YouTube
comments.
comments.
And it's very active. There's a lot of great people in there. If you're a KelbyOne Pro member, make sure you, and if you have to ask anything, we do have a help desk. You'll get help from the help desk. The community will beat you to it.
Well, there's
really
there's
smart
instructors
people.
like Tracy just came out with her class, and she's in there talking to people in the
Oh yeah,
community. Yeah.
and
so
the other thing
instructors
is,
are in
yeah,
there,
you
everything.
can discuss classes.
Yep,
So when a
all the
class comes
classes.
out, you can click discuss this class. You'll discuss it with other students, but the instructors will pop in there as well. Speaking of instructors, Mark Heaps is here doing a class, and you're going to ask Mark questions that only Mark can understand.
Oh, goodness.
And he'll say, "Here's what the answer is," And how about if I drive a platypod to your house?
Yeah, I'm now the delivery guy for Kelby as well.
Yes, you are. Delivery driver. Hey, where can people learn more about you?
Probably the best place is social media, honestly. So I go by @LifeByPixels online. And
wait. @Life
by Pixels.
So Life by Pixels.
Yes.
And the @symbol.
The @symbol.
Life by Pixels.
On the interwebs.
On the interwebs. So is this your Facebook page?
Yeah, this is the Facebook page.
Is that you at Adobe Max?
That is me teaching Adobe Max this year. Photo by Alan Hess.
How could you afford to give all those people
IMAX?
IMAX.
Yeah, you know what was amazing? It was a fun lab. So we taught in this session, and then every person attending got to print on an Epson printer at like 20-inch long.
Oh, that's
Epson
nice.
It was really fun, man.
So this is this is your Twitter?
This is my Facebook page.
Oh, your Facebook page.
Oh, no, wait, is this Twitter? This is
like
Twitter. Yeah, this is Twitter.
It would be weird to see new to Twitter on Facebook.
Yeah. And then the Facebook page is also Life by Pixels, and a lot of people go there and actually post comments or questions like, hey, I'm working. I'm really big in supporting people that are working. Oh, someone's got to log in. Someone's got to log in. And then if they don't want anything professional whatsoever, I'm kind of like Dave in the sense I'm traveling and motorcycling around, and so Instagram has a lot of that as well.
And your Instagram page.
Look, there I am flying to Tampa. That's me. That's me coming down to
Tampa. Ooh, look at that guitar.
Yeah, that's my Sheraton.
Is that an ES335?
No, that's a Sheraton too, and then that's my brand new Fender.
I have a Marriott that I really like. It's a Gibson Marriott.
Yeah, I do giveaways on here. I just gave away the Logitech keyboard and mouse in there.
Yeah,
so.
Eric has a La Quinta bass.
Yep, a La Quinta.
And it can only play Latin songs.
Oh, there's my Photoshop socks. This is my Photoshop.
Those are
I'm
nice.
wearing those today.
Are you?
I'm wearing my
I
Photoshop
couldn't be more
socks
embarrassed
today.
for you.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, Mark, thank you for being on the show. You were an awesome guest. Mr. Kuna, as always, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You did a fine job over there. Jason, Ron in streaming, and of course, Magic Wand.
The Jib Master.
All right, now, we're planning on a show next week. We're planning on it. I'm not 100%, but we bring that back down.
He's taking you out. Oh.
Bring it back. Camera 1, camera 2.
We're planning on a show next week. It would be our holiday gift guide show, because my holiday gift guide goes live on Friday on my blog. And this is the 13th year of doing my holiday gift guide. I get all my favorite stuff. This is the stuff that I actually use, so it's good. And I got some good stuff this year.
I think normally when my family asks me what do I want, I just forward that.
Yeah, just forward my gift guide because it's got all the awesome stuff on it.
I bet there will be one thing on your gift guide that I know is going to be on your gift guide.
Is it the platypod?
It is the platypod.
This is the second year. This is the only time in 13 years I put the same thing on in 2 years in a row because I just love I can't live without it. I can't live.
Oh, wow.
If living is without a platypod, I can't give.
We're at the improvise hour.
I can't give anymore. All right.
Wow.
I'm at a loss for words.
Mark,
it is hard to make me speechless. You might be one of the only people that have ever done that.
Come on, sing with me.
They're trying to get this jib out of here. And they're like,
all right, we're out of here. You can't play bass to that. You have to sing.
It's going up into the atmosphere.
Eric will sing. Come on, Eric.
Thanks for having me.
I can't live.
There you go.
Oh, we're not going to work. We're not going to. Today on the